This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We're your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying Sasquatch sweat and werewolf piss from Apicklelypse. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. Today we are traveling back to New Mexico to try a couple sauces with some of the most fun names. We're doing Apicklelypse's Sasquatch sweat and werewolf piss.
Normal, so appetizing.
It's just a normal Monday morning.
So I am fairly involved with, let's say, wild animals.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with what wild canine urine smells like. It's often used in hunting.
It'd be funny if you didn't have a hunting background and that was just very familiar with the smell of.
It's used a lot as like a cover scent or an attractant, depending on what you're going after. If actual wolf piss smelled anything like fox piss, I got to believe it's like way worse. But
yeah,
I mean, fox piss will like put you on your knees. If
wolf used to like keep certain critters away, like you put that out in your, is it wolf or is it something, or is it fox?
I mean, it could be anything. I'm sure if you wanted to keep coyotes away, spray wolf piss. If you want to keep deer away, pretty much any prey animals, you'd probably do that. I was actually researching this, that a lot of fox are actually attracted to wolf urine because they're naturally not in the same range.
Okay.
So like, hey, what is that? But like, if you were looking to deter someone, if you replace pepper spray with fox piss or wolf piss, I'm assuming they're as bad or worse, you would drop people in their tracks. It would not be fun.
I know we were at Angela's parents' one time, and on the top of the garage fridge, there was a container that had deer urine.
Yeah.
And it fell because someone slammed the fridge door, and it fell and smashed.
That's a bummer.
And so we had to use a different exit to get in and out of the house for a while. It did clear out eventually. I don't know how long it took that day, but it was rough. And it wasn't, I think it was, he was really bummed because it was like all of his supply.
You get that on your skin and it sticks there for a very long time.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll get into other parts of that category, but it's, this is actually a hot sauce. This is
Well, I'm going to
It's yellow in color, but it's a garlic, sesame, and habanero howling hot sauce. And then the Sasquatch sweat is a cranberry mustard and red chili. It says easy hot sauce. So I'm excited. We've had a few sauces from Apicklelypse. We had his Ooga Booga first, and then we did the Duende Ghost, which he did revamp the recipe of that, which he sent us the revamped recipe. We're going to try that on another video or episode or something like that. We'll probably talk to David about that.
I was actually talking to someone this weekend. Actually, one of the guys I went on vacation with,
or
the only guy I went on vacation with, and his wife.
You went with your wife, too.
Yeah, my wife was there, too.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was me, my wife, her best friend, and then her husband.
Okay.
But he's from Mexico, and I actually asked him about, like, Duende Ghost, and then, or Duende, and then what was the other one? The other, like, folklore?
La Llorona?
Yes.
Yeah.
I asked him about that, and he was very familiar. He's like, oh, yeah, we definitely got that. When we were kids, he's like, it's terrifying.
Okay, so he had the terrifying one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's one of those where it's like, are you familiar with this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of them? Are they good? Are they bad?
Yeah. He said the one that, he said the chupacabra was one that was, like, bigger than those two.
Okay.
He said they were very familiar with them, but the chupacabra in his region was like, that was like the story.
I don't think that brand has a chupacabra, if I remember correctly, but I'm sure some hot sauce company does.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's out there. But we'll get into these sauces. You just got back from vacation. We haven't recorded. We've been putting episodes out every week, but we haven't recorded in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
At least, yeah.
And then I have a vacation coming up, so there's going to be a rapid succession of recordings. So the later episodes in a couple of weeks, you might be like, that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
We'll get into the sauces, but before we do that, we have to do our customary game. I'm going to name a person, and it's a real person, but either they created a nicely crafted hot sauce or they've dribbled a basketball professionally.
We've got to be getting low on people here.
Oh, no. I got plenty. I mean, just based on sheer numbers, I'm sure I'll run out of sauce makers first.
Yeah.
Because eventually there will be a line of, well, now we're getting into we've already tried them. But there's also NBA players out there. Some of them are just too obvious. I mean, also, you do have a knowledge of, I say, more 90s basketball than now basketball.
I'd say late 90s, early 2000. If I had a wheelhouse,
like
it would
Jordan,
be that.
Shaq, Barkley. Like, those are ones.
Yeah.
I think we had you list the Team USA, and you had a lot of those, the 90s Team USA. But today, we're going to go with Luka Doncic.
That is 100% a basketball player.
The European ones, I got to find some European sauce makers because you always like the European, like, oh.
Isn't he like current right now?
Yes, he is. So this was.
So I've been seeing him. He's been that guy that's.
This is a gauge. This was a gauge to see if you were aware of any of the current standings of what's going on. And when this episode comes out, the next day, Game 1 of the NBA Finals starts. He is in it.
Okay. So I knew, based on the name, not because I know who that is.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a very European basketball player.
Slovenian.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's between the Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics for the NBA Finals. Can you name any other player in that matchup?
For the Celtics?
Or for either one?
Larry Bird.
No, for the current teams.
Oh, no.
Okay. And the reason I brought him up, just to see if to bring up the NBA Finals, see if you are aware of the current going
I've just
on.
seen him in the news a lot.
He is the best player under 25 for sure. He is a top 3 player in the league. Him and Nikola Jokic, who won the championship last year, are the two probably most skilled players in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
But he also had a feat just before he even goes into the NBA Finals. He is only the 4th person in the playoffs to have 450 points, 150 rebounds, and 150 assists total, or above that, in an NBA playoff season. Can you name the other 3? And you know the other 3.
Jordan.
Nope.
You're going to make me say LeBron out loud, aren't you?
I'm not going to make you say anything. You don't have to.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say LeBron.
Okay. And I did say someone else that's also achieved this.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, 1987.
Kobe.
No, Kobe never did it.
Shaq.
Nope, Shaq never did it.
Charles Barkley.
Nope, Charles Barkley never did it.
Running low here.
So the other person I had mentioned, they won the championship last year. I don't know if you remember who I just said 2 minutes ago.
Hold on. God, who was it?
Nikola Jokic.
Oh, I was distracted when you said that because I thought you were getting into tennis players.
It does sound like a tennis player, but so Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, you would love because they look like they should be playing rec league ball, and both of them just crush it.
Yeah.
He did it last year. Luka did it this year. Larry Bird did it in 1987. There's only one other person that did it.
I'm not going to say it.
That's fine. Just so you know, the other person that you're not going to say did it 6 times.
Was it like a charity match? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was 6 charity seasons.
Okay.
6 charity seasons of playoff basketball.
See, that doesn't really validate him at all, though.
That's fine.
I just think
I saw this stat and I was like, oh, okay, good for Luka. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, 4 people did. I'm just like, they don't have a year there. I'm like, oh, it says 6X. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like everyone went into this game being like, hey, if we don't let LeBron have his way, he's just going to throw a huge fit. So everyone just let him score. I think that's exactly what happened.
I think that's how the league works.
Yeah.
I think that's 100% accurate.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into...
Tag LeBron on this one.
LeBron blocked us. He doesn't... LeBron blocked us, much like his game-winning block in the Golden State Cleveland Cavaliers series that won him his first championship for Cleveland.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Anyway, so we're going to get into Sasquatch sweat. We're gonna open up this sweat. We're going to sweat it out. It's funny that the sweat one is the milder one because it'd be funny if the sweat one made you sweat. But this is a 3 out of 8 coffins, the stomach warfare meter. Just to read this a little bit, earthy, intriguing, and mysterious. This sauce is dark and elusive. New Mexico red chili and ginger for dry heat, while cranberry and mustard skulk in the imagination. The wording on that is
I know. That's crazy.
Fantastic. Ingredients: water, white vinegar, dried cranberries, red chili powder, carrots, onion, ground mustard, salt, green beans, garlic powder, and ground ginger. I would have taken, no, maybe when I taste it, I'll see
the green beans is interesting. I love green beans, even though I'm afraid of beans.
We've had one of his that had corn in it. The Ooga Booga, that was the pickly one. I mean, there's no ingredient anymore that really throws me for a curveball as far as where I'm like, well, that's not going to work. I mean, we had a cauliflower-based hot sauce just a couple weeks ago, and it was great. I've been using it on my breakfast food.
That one wasn't as like shocking to me because you can go to the store and get like a cauliflower pizza crust.
Yeah.
So I'm like used to that. You don't go
and
get like
pickled cauliflower that's popular in like the is that the Jardiniere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, little side tangent before I rip this seal, which I'm really confident is going to be a good one. I secretly got Angela to eat mushrooms yesterday, and she doesn't know.
Really?
She doesn't listen to podcasts, so this is fine.
What'd you do?
I made beef stroganoff, and you cannot make a beef stroganoff. It was a ground beef stroganoff. You can't make it without mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of the quintessential flavors.
Yeah.
I minced it up to holy hell, and I cooked it with the onions and the ground beef.
Just reduced down to liquid.
And it was a ground beef one. It wasn't like chunks of meat. So the ground beef and the pieces of mushroom, indiscernible.
Right.
And she had two and a half bowls full.
Nice.
And I'm just like,
gotcha.
Like, if I tell her, it'll be after the whole thing's gone.
Right.
And I'm not going to tell her. Although I did make her one time these chicken zucchini mushroom patty things from her Weight Watchers menu that she had, and they were really good. I told her there were mushrooms in it, and she was fine.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like if I told her, she would just like spit it out and throw up or something.
Get mad at you.
Yeah. All right, let's open the seal.
Your confidence was there.
I could tell. Sometimes you can just tell. So this one's got a nice darker red color on it. And I'm not going to say anymore. I just want to open this up.
Are you a Bigfoot guy?
In what way? Like just a fan of it, or do I believe in it, or?
I guess anything. Do you want it to be there?
I'd love it to be true.
It's there?
I'd love it to be true. I don't see why it couldn't be possible. You think about everything that's been discovered so long ago. I think of the the coelacanth?
Yeah.
Where people thought it was gone.
Right.
And then they're like, oh no, he's just been down here. He's been down here chilling. Mason still knows where the coelacanth is, and everyone's like, that's really impressive. I'm like, just Tuesday.
Yeah, just Tuesday.
So I would like to believe it. My love of the movie Harry and the Hendersons makes me want to believe that it's just not like some, like, oh, it's mostly ape, like hint of human, where it's more a balance. But I don't know. And also, we're talking about like predominantly it's known to be in like the Northwest and into Canada.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure we've explored a lot of that, but that's the least explored of.
Right.
You know, at least the United States. I don't know about Canada.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a Bigfoot guy. I wouldn't be bummed if it was true.
Just come back. I disagree with all that.
Yeah. It'd be neat, you know.
It would be cool.
I think just statistically it's not there. I'd heard
something that big.
Yeah. Like I had heard one stat in the Florida panther, when it was at its lowest, there was like 50 left in the state.
Yeah.
Every single year they had multiple panther or mountain lion car accidents.
Yeah.
Where it's like, at this point, someone would have stumbled on some hard evidence.
So this is a nice pour.
So I'm not sure where he got this hot sauce from, but it sure as heck wasn't Sasquatch.
No, I mean...
It smells good, though. It does.
It would be funny.
This one had... has
the mustard powder
Thanksgiving
and the
dinner on it,
yeah.
Right?
Cranberry.
Smells Thanksgiving-y.
It would be funny if it was like the first batch was just super salty, where it's just like, I was like licking the back of Sasquatch.
Like I told you, I got it from Sasquatch's sweat.
Like salty. All right, let's give it a try.
Cranberry sweeter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's good, though. It would be a good Thanksgiving sauce.
A little mustardy after.
I definitely get the cranberry.
So I'm not a big ginger person, but I think this is light enough where it wouldn't bother me at all. I always go to default to pork tenderloin with any type of cranberry based.
Yeah.
He says turkey dinner, great for barbecue, which I could see this as a sweeter barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
He even put BLT or ZLT, which is zucchini, lettuce, and tomato. Mix into a Greek salad, charcuterie board, salty cheese, assorted nuts. I would love to put this on a Greek salad because I got all this stuff for a Greek salad last week and then realized I had no dressing. I had like a centimeter worth of olive oil. I had no lemon. I couldn't just make like one default dressing.
Right.
And so this would be a really good alternative to put that on there. I would throw this in like a chicken salad. So like instead of doing the cranberry chicken salad, throw this in there instead.
We did I just pan fried some pork chops last night. This would go good on there too.
We do a feta cream cheese cranberry green onion pinwheels that I would dip this in.
Oh, yeah.
Just dip there. You get a little more extra cranberry, or you can omit the cranberry from the pinwheel and just dip it with this, and you get that same feel.
Yeah, that's good.
I really like that. It's not hot. It's not really hot at all. Like, it's got a little bit of warmth.
Got like a 1.
Yeah, it's like a high 1 because like it's there. Here.
Even on just like, I don't know, kind of like if you were to do authentic style tacos, but you did it kind of more artistic, I guess.
Like artisanal?
Yes, artisanal.
Okay. I'm trying to think of...
I'm trying to math today.
I'm trying to think of what else I would put. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the cranberry is the leading flavor. It's not, even though there's, you got the vinegar balancing the sweetness, it's not a super vinegary sauce.
No, it's there, but not.
It's got some good texture to it. It's not completely smooth, but it is a smooth pour. Little bit lighter than some applesauce.
We're doing some damage on that bottle though.
I know. It's been a while since we had hot sauce. I was watching Sam from Sam Sauce he puts his markets on Instagram Live and just shows him like kind of slinging sauce. And at one point, somebody came up and he's like, "Oh, you want to try some sauce?" And I was like, "Oh, it's too early for that." I'm like, "Tell him that I do it at 7 a.m. and it's the best way to start a day." Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Get out of here. Don't give him any.
All right. Where do you think I went with my fun fact on this sauce?
I think you went Sasquatch.
I very much went Sasquatch.
So did I.
Okay. I'm a little worried then. So, are you familiar with I'm just going to say this. There's only one Bigfoot trap in America. Is this the same fact you did?
No.
There is legitimately a Bigfoot trap
okay.
that has been set.
It's like a box with a stick and a string.
No, it looks actually pretty impressive considering. But so deep in the heart of American Bigfoot country, there is a Bigfoot trap that's the only one in the world, according to the U.S. Forest Service. In 1974, an Oregon miner found 18-inch tracks in the area of the Rogue River Siskiyou National Park or National Forest. The creature that left the immense tracks appeared to have a 6-foot-long stride. A team of wildlife researchers built a trap in the area and baited it for 6 years straight in an attempt to capture Bigfoot, but all they got for their efforts were a couple hungry bears. So,
do you have a photo of it?
Yeah, I do. I'll put it on the episode post too.
I've not heard of this. It's funny that the Forest Service, no, not the Forest Service, but researchers did this.
Yeah.
It looks like an outhouse. Oh, there's a door on it. That's so funny.
Bigfoot was here, spray painted on the side. Harry and the Hendersons.
It looks just like a bear trap on steroids.
Yeah. But also, if we're thinking that there's a 6-foot stride giant, I mean, how big is that door? Because the lady
you have to crawl into
in
it.
this photo, the lady's crouched down.
Yeah.
So you're asking Bigfoot, you got to have it be tall enough for him to walk into.
Right.
I still stand by. I think box with a stick is a good method. I think giant dome that's above the trees that just falls, like cover it with leaves. Giant falling dome. But yeah, Bigfoot trap.
That's funny.
There's only one there.
That's hilarious.
I wonder what they baited it with. What do they?
Yeah,
think?
I don't know. What do you
think Sasquatch? What is the overlying idea of what they eat?
I don't know.
I've heard some say they forage. I've seen other things that I saw where like they theorized that they like broke the front legs of animals and left them to get them later. And I'm like, okay, so
I
don't know.
I never heard that one. I don't know. A bushel of bananas? I don't know.
I have a mini fact, but I'm going to wait till you do yours just because I don't want to.
Okay. I just went with frequency of Bigfoot sightings. So if you had to name the top 3 states where Bigfoot is most frequently recorded, what would you say?
Washington.
Okay.
Oregon.
Okay.
I'm going to go Montana.
Montana's actually very low.
Idaho?
Nope.
North Dakota.
So some conflicting sources, but I'll give you
Florida.
Florida's very high, actually.
Of course it is.
I'll give you.
Do they drug test before they take that as a legit sighting?
Yeah, they probably should. I'll give you like the top ones here.
Okay.
There's a lot of conflicting information online, but the top ones: Washington 676. I don't remember. I don't know what the time frame is. I don't know if this is like per year. Oregon 254, California 445, Texas 246, Illinois. This was surprising, 296. Most of Illinois is very flat. Michigan 220, Ohio 302. That makes sense. Probably just their neighbor.
What the UP to Lower Peninsula sightings are on that, because I feel like UP probably that's a legitimate one.
So I know a guy, like personally. I've met him a few times, and I have mutual friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not really their friend. He was their coworker. He is sold that Bigfoot is real, and he's like played audio recordings of like, hey, this is a Bigfoot, and you just like you hear this fuzzy audio, and all of a sudden you just hear like a tap in it somewhere, or like a click. He's like, that was Bigfoot, and he's super fun to listen to. I don't believe anything what he has, but like he was telling me, what was that Finding Bigfoot show on Animal Planet?
I don't know. The only Bigfoot thing I think of is Harry and the Hendersons.
I think it was just called Finding Bigfoot, but he was telling me that he's got property around Houghton Lake, Michigan, so like central, north central, lower Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying like they were trying to knock his door down, trying to get on his Bigfoot population and stuff like that. And it was just, he's into it. So I'm like super happy for him, but it was just comical to hear how bad Animal Planet wanted to get on this guy's property in Michigan. So I do know there's a core of people in Michigan that are very convinced. There's a couple really low ones in here. Some of these not surprising. There's 6 people in one state that I just feel bad for because it's just funny. What do you think the lowest states are?
Connecticut.
Yep. Connecticut's in here. Looks Maryland. Rhode Island's got 5, so there's 5 people in Rhode Island that think that.
So small. There's nowhere to hide.
I think this is Delaware right here. They've got 5. The one that I just laughed at, North Dakota had 6 people. 6 recorded sightings.
That's it?
Yeah. It's also like one of the most treeless places out there.
That's true.
So it's just like really surprised.
I mean, there was a gathering of like 4 or 5 trees. Just like, I swear, he's in there.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how he got away.
Right. So what is funny though is
California makes more sense now that I think. Initially, I was like, oh, California is more than Oregon, but I guess like that's where
the famous one was, the video.
Yeah, that's where the the famous the red tree, is it the
Redwood Forest?
Redwood Forest, and then where's the what's the big ass trees?
Sequoia.
Yeah. Isn't that California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
they're living in the sequoias. So they burrowed into them like carpenter ants.
Yeah. So having been to Washington, I could see how people would see something because it's a straight up rainforest. When you're in Olympic National Park, it's hard to see 20 yards. And if you do see something, it's very shadowy.
Yeah. Where
I could see where there's a lot of either folklore or misidentification of, bears or big animals moving through the trees where, I'm sure these people saw something. It's easy to just say, oh, it was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you look at this map, clearly there's a lot of people seeing something. Makes me wonder, like, what? I personally don't think it's Bigfoot.
A lot of people that do stupid things.
Though. Yeah. But, yeah, I guess you're right.
It's, that was mean. No, and I'm one of the people, I'm like, yeah, I'd love for it to be real. I've never thought, I'd be curious where the line would be for me of I'd be compelled to report a sighting. Because odds are if I see something, I'm like, I don't really know what that is. My first instinct isn't it's a mythical thing. It's it's a deer.
Yeah.
I go down to the back of my backyard and there's a hill that drops and I hear something ruffle and go through the branches and run off. And 9 times out of 10 I'm just like, oh, there's a deer probably bedding down there.
Yeah.
One time I spotted a little white tail and I'm like, okay, yep, that's a deer. But other times I didn't see anything. I just heard.
Right.
And I didn't go like, that could be Bigfoot.
Yeah. And I spend way more time outside than the average person.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. Like you said, like you see something, you see a flash of white, white-tailed deer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me to comprehend like someone not being in the woods enough to just be like, oh yeah, you know, sometimes black bears stand up on their hind legs. You know, that's actually pretty common. Or yeah, when you see a deer run by close, they look huge.
I think
Do we have an observer?
Yeah. I think California, most of the times it was just Shaq going for a hike.
Poor guy.
Hey, you have 3 babies. Yeah, I see. Are you going to have breakfast?
Morning.
Are you having breakfast today?
Well, Littlefoot's here.
Yeah.
No Bigfoot.
Bigfoot was before. Littlefoot's now. You want to take a smell? Okay. But no, that's my extra fact that I had about Bigfoot. Bigfoot has one pretty major supporter of, not saying like they're definitely real, but like, oh, the odds are there that could happen. Jane Goodall.
She is? She's on the Bigfoot train?
Jane Goodall's, it was not like 100%, but it was more, it's, could be very likely.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
I was like, well,
that's fun. Well,
I'd put that on a t-shirt if I was the Bigfoot people, but like, we got Jane Goodall.
We got Jane Goodall on our side.
We got the Michael Jordan of
kind of important
of at least the apes.
Giant primates. Yeah. I guess that kind of makes sense. I got to believe she's up there with some of the most logged hours.
Yeah.
With gorillas, and I'm sure they're surprisingly tucked away.
Well, yeah, she probably sees how well they can kind of disappear to a certain extent and then go, well,
kind of possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if they can do it, it's like from a gorilla to a Bigfoot, it's not as huge of a leap.
Yeah.
So
I saw one time it was probably a 300-400 pound black bear running through the woods in northern Michigan. Disappeared surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
You would think something the size of a tractor in pure black you would see for a long time. Ran in front of us across the road, ran into the woods, and it was just gone. So
nice.
Animals are special.
All right, let's get into our score. Renly did not try the hot sauce this morning, but I really like this. So it does give very Thanksgiving dinner vibes. With cranberry, I always go pork, especially with the mustard. The ginger's not super strong, so you're not going to get blown out by it, but I'm sure depending on what the dish is, you can bring that ginger flavor out some. I had this as a 1+ on heat. I had a few more spoonfuls, and it did build a little bit better. And then I had this as a 79 for my score.
I had 80.
Okay.
Yep.
So really good sauce. I always, again, it always makes me lean towards Thanksgiving, but I joked where we keep trying these Thanksgiving style sauces the furthest away from Thanksgiving. So this will be going on a lot of different dishes, like any pork dish, or if I do like some type of rice bowls or quinoa, we could, if I get a turkey and chop some of that up for some turkey, turkey rice or quinoa dishes. But yeah, so that was the Sasquatch sweat. And so now let's get into the werewolf piss. So I'm holding 3 dolls while I do this. All right. So this one, again, garlic, sesame, and habanero. This one's a nice bright yellow. It's very much like a mustardy sauce, which is ironic because this one isn't the mustard one, but it has like, if you told me this was like a Dijon or a honey mustard.
Looks like
color.
Honey mustard, yeah. A little thinner.
Yeah, it looks a little bit thinner. This one says, werewolf piss is hot, like taking a silver bullet. This breath bomb reeks of sweet garlic, a beast full of flavor, garlic, toasted sesame seeds, and loads of habaneros.
Breath bomb. I like that one.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know if he wrote these himself or if he had someone help him with those, but...
Chat GPT.
I hope not. I'd like to think that he did these himself. All right, let's open up the seal. It runs in the family that they like when the seal opens. This is the one thing, when we start doing video episodes, this could get very interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's give this a smell. Did you have breakfast yet? All right, so yeah, I definitely get the sesame, get the garlic.
Ooh, a lot of sesame.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about sesame? Do you like it?
So I like it. I don't use it a whole lot. I know, like, I've used sesame seeds in a few dishes. Sesame oil is not a big thing that I use.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. There was a sesame bread from Nantucket Bakery.
Mm-hmm.
All their breads are amazing. The sesame bread was a bit much. Like, it was something where it was hard to have it with it was hard to figure out what to use that bread for. Because any other bread, it's like, oh, you throw some peanut butter on it, you throw whatever, it's fine. It was such a strong sesame flavor that it kind of turned it off for me. But normally, yeah, I don't have any issue with sesame. Can you go upstairs to Mom? And then I'll cut up some strawberries when I'm done. What do you think? Otherwise, you got to try some hot sauce. You gonna try some?
Try a little bit.
Does it smell good?
She's like,
All right, let's see what they say for. So for this one, they say stir fries, Asian cuisine, chicken wings, breakfast burritos, rice or noodle dishes, garlic bread, or Italian. The Italian and the garlic bread is an interesting.
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet, but I could definitely see it on Asian. Anytime I have Asian food, I love that sesame flavor.
Yeah. Also, the ingredients: water, white vinegar, honey, yellow onion, habaneros, yellow bell pepper, carrots, banana, lime juice, garlic, sesame oil, sesame seeds, and salt.
I feel like we haven't had a sauce with banana.
We didn't even talk about the green beans in the other one. It was blended in so well.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
even.
So I don't know if that was just something to give it a better texture, but it didn't really overtake that. Yeah, this one's a little bit thinner.
We have so many visitors.
I know. I just got to keep checking. All right, so I just want to try. Bigger kick of heat.
Hot right away.
Hit me right in the nose.
I like that flavor. The sesame's not as strong as the smell of it.
No.
Very garlicky.
When you smell it, sesame is the number one. When you're tasting this, I definitely get the garlic up front first.
Mm-hmm.
The sesame's more of the aftertaste.
Yeah.
Daddy,
What?
do you know hear Sky?
Yeah, she's upstairs.
Surprisingly hot.
Yeah, it's got a very good kick. For only being habaneros, that one, which when we dropped that deer urine off it really spiked hard. So it is really a good shot, a good silver bullet of a sauce. I am curious with the garlic and the sesame how my breath's going to be for the rest of the day. The more spoonfuls I have
feel
of
it
this.
in my nose. I do get kind of the sweeter, the carrot and the banana. I know I get those in there.
There is some sweetness. I got to do another spoonful here because that kick of heat really had my attention to start.
Yeah.
But
that is the kick of very raw habaneros.
But I do see a lot of sweetness. I see the honey, the carrots, the banana.
Banana.
The banana. The honey, the carrots, and the banana all working towards sweetening this up, which does help because, yeah, that garlic bite, the habanero, and they also have the bell pepper for sweetness too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the sesame oil is definitely more of an afterthought here. Not an afterthought. That's not the right way to say it. It's not as leading. So, all right, let's take a look here.
Man, that is toasty.
No funny faces right now. We're recording. We're professionals.
It's funny to hear those little whispers amplified into headphones.
I know. You're going to have somebody saying like, hey, I think the podcast that you record, wherever you record the podcast, you have ghosts. Because all I hear is, I want funny faces. Like I just hear that whispering. But no, this one, I would love to get just some good, like, is it lo mein or chow mein noodles?
I guess I don't know the difference.
I don't know the difference either. But the ones you get at Panda Express, I'd love just to get those noodles.
Isn't that chow mein?
With some greens, and then just roll this sauce.
That would be good.
Honestly, throw this with like their teriyaki chicken that isn't sauced. I typically don't do that unless I'm trying to be like good at a Panda Express, which is kind of an oxymoron. But this sauce with that, I would have a good time with that. Or really any type of yeah, any type of like Asian noodle dish with this. I just feel like this would be like a ramen noodle upgrade.
Yeah.
I see.
What direction with your fact?
I mean, I went werewolf. Of course I did.
Did you go with the different ways to kill a werewolf?
No.
Okay.
Did you go that way?
I was thinking about it, but there was so much information out there. I'm like, I can't condense this into a fact.
I know silver bullet's the popular one.
Like a wooden stake.
Okay.
But I was expecting like a couple ways to do it. There's like endless information on there.
You have to do this. There's also the Samson approach. You cut off all its hair.
Really?
No.
Okay. It could have been one. I mean, there
mean,
was so many I didn't even read them. I'm like, okay, we're just down rabbit holes now.
I was gonna say garlic, but I think that's vampires. I don't think that's.
Yeah, it keeps the vampires away.
So mine was with the rare condition called hypertrichosis.
I've seen that. I remember that in Guinness World Record books. You'd always see pictures of those guys.
It causes sufferers to grow hair all over their body, including their faces. It's also called the werewolf syndrome for obvious reasons. But don't worry about catching it. It's very, very rare. Only 50 people have it in the entire world out of 7+ billion.
Some unlucky people.
I mean,
I wonder if they, like, do you just cover yourself in Nair or do you just own it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure there's some YouTube videos that talk to people about it because
Yeah.
it to me, some of it is like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that just have like excessively hairy arms, back, chest, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's like all over your body, like I just can't imagine having to, like, I went for a run this morning wearing shorts while having hair, like long furry hair on my thighs and stuff. Just no thanks. But yeah, so that is the werewolf syndrome.
So I went with actual wolves. Are you familiar with Isle Royale?
Yes.
So Isle Royale is an island in Lake Superior. It is part of the state of Michigan. And I know you just said yes, but I'm explaining it to you anyways.
That's fine. I mean, there's people.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a big island. I think it's the biggest island in Lake Superior. It's got a population of moose on it, and it's got a population of wolves on it. Right now, I think there's 30 wolves on the island and about 2,000 moose. Did you know that it is the longest running predator-prey study in the world?
No.
Yeah, so the wolves ended up there in the 40s, and I think they were down to one or two wolves in like the late 20 teens.
Okay.
Due to inbreeding. So what happened was, an ice bridge forms, and then wolves across the Lake Superior ice get onto the island, and then ice thaws, and they just hang out there. So that went on since the 40s, and they've been studying it, I believe, since the 50s. So that makes that study like 70 years old, so they can sit there and it's a really neat, from a science perspective, it's a neat opportunity. You essentially have a vacuum of giant prey and giant predators.
Yeah.
And you sit there and, can very easily watch how they interact. The island's only like 40 miles by 10 miles, which is a big island.
Yeah.
But when you're talking 30 wolves and 2,000 moose, it's like having a big not aquarium, but like terrarium.
Right.
Is all it is. So,
and it's not like you're confining them with any type of unnatural restriction. It's just it was a natural trap.
Yeah, which it was very controversial. So they got down due to inbreeding because there's been less and less ice bridges, so a lot less gene flow. They had a lot of inbred wolves. I think they got down to one or two, and they actually reintroduced, I think in like 2020 or 2019, they reintroduced some new genetics onto the island as far as wolves are. And now there are about 30 wolves. And it was super controversial. So it's like we have the longest running predator-prey study that we've just been strictly observing. Now that something's out of balance and it's going to naturally go away, let's intervene and, potentially screw up this natural cycle that's happening, So they did end up reintroducing them, but it was surprisingly controversial. Well, I guess unsurprisingly, but still there. And I really want to. You can take a ferry, I think from Copper Harbor. You take a ferry to one side. I think it's the west side of the island. Mm-hmm. And then you've got 4 days to hike 40 miles to the other side. And then 4 days later, they pick you up on the other side of the island. And there's a single path that goes right through it. But 40-mile trek, and it's very mountainous. You got to post some pictures of it. It's a very mountainous island. It's really neat.
Yeah, I've never been there. I'd like to do some more exploring of some of the Michigan sites that I haven't been at. We've got a big Yellowstone trip right now, but that in Canada. I want to explore more of Canada.
Yeah.
Not just the mall in Edmonton, actual natural.
It still blows my mind that there's like a dense population of people in Canada.
A gigantic mall.
Because the Canada I'm familiar with is very sparse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard for me to picture a dense population.
So this heat, I would have this as a 3.
Yeah.
Because this is a strong lingering heat, which is, it's surprising. It's weird how habanero can go in so many different directions with their heat, depending on how it's prepared. And
yeah,
I can feel I'm very, salivating here. I'm not perspiring or sweating, but this is I love that. Well, you get the sesame smell to it. You don't get kind of like how people overuse truffle oil on like French fries, and it's like, oh, it's way too much. Or that bread, how strong the sesame flavor was in there. I get the sesame. It's a little bit on the upfront. It's a little bit during the middle tasting of it. The aftertaste, I'm sure sesame oil will probably be the thing that I burp up the most.
Yeah, right.
But I like how garlicky it is. I really like how it, how you can put this into a lot of Asian cuisine. This one, for my score, I had this one as an 84.
I had 75.
Okay. So both of these are ones that we recommend to buy. Both of these are some great sauces. And so this is, again...
We've gone from babies to Tonka trucks.
I know. She's not definable. So this one, again, Apicklelypse. The Instagram is Apicklelypse505, apicklelypse.com. That's Apicklelypse. And so, again, David from Apicklelypse out of New Mexico. Just want to do a couple of special thank yous. First and foremost to him. I met him out in the Fiery Food Show. We've talked on Instagram. Just super supportive of the podcast. Very thankful for the reviews that we've done of his. He's a great sauce maker. Sorry, there's Tonka trunks. No, these are Paw Patrol trucks. But just thank you to him for what? Mighty Ones. Yeah, the Mighty Paw Patrol. So special thank you to David for just his support on this, and also just happy to get his brand out there. He's got some amazing sauces with some killer flavors, and so thank you to him for getting us these sauces. We'll try these other new flavors that he's got for the Duende Ghost and what was the other one? The Shrunken Head. We'll get to those here soon. Also, as always, special thank you to Summit 6 Design for any graphic or logo design needs. They designed our logo. And then also, 9 Circles of Hell was a sauce maker that sent us a care package. I haven't posted about receiving it. It's been a couple weeks. I will post that here shortly, but thank you for sending that out. We're kind of slowing down on accepting any sauce packages. This is one of the last ones that we had said yes to before we said let's do some catch up.
Yeah.
And so just want to say a special thank you to them. And then again, thank you again for listening. However you listen, we do appreciate you. Follow us on Instagram at The Heat Source Podcast for all updates. Send us a message on there or email us at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com for any feedback, requests, or other comments. And then, Renly, what are we going to do next week? She doesn't know.
We don't know.
I know what it is. It's Halogi hot sauce.
Okay.
I teased it last time, but I promised that we would do this episode. Halogi hot sauce is coming
Teased
next.
it this morning.
I teased it this morning to Mike, and then I said, changing script. I want to do a little more work on that episode. So we'll see that next week. We'll see you next week.
See you.
All right. I haven't done that in a while.
Fancy Matt came
Yeah,
out.
fancy Matt came to play. I've been running, so I've got my old exercise energy back.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Whether
You
it's
didn't have the
that or
energy to snap.
Or the pre-workout. That was a good snap.
It was.
I mean, I'm not going to clap,
Better than your
but
claps.
yeah. Let's do this.